Good morning, Lakeland. Here we are live, or recorded from the Lancer Studios, and we're here for our annual curriculum show. We're going to talk about a number of the options that you have for next year in regard to new electives that are coming in. Just so everybody knows, this is in anticipation of the sophomores, juniors, and freshmen, not in that order, scheduling for next year. Just so everybody has an idea of when they're going to be sitting down with their school counselor, juniors are going to be scheduling on February 22nd and 23rd. Sophomores are going to be scheduling on February 26th and 27th, and freshmen are going to be scheduling on February 28th and March 1st. So these are all of the new electives that we're going to be offering for next year. In addition, we have roughly 80 electives that are already in our curriculum guide that you have the opportunity to take. So here goes nothing. All right, Lakeland, here I am in the lavish Lakeland Morning Show studios with one of my favorite science teachers, Mr. Jared Cesarczyk. Mr. S, how are you today, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to be here, for sure.
As he said, he's very excited to be here, and the whole point of Mr. S being here is to talk about his new course, which is...
Well, it's AP Capstone, all right? It's an AP Capstone. It's an extension to our research program, which you can actually receive AP college credit, obviously. So it's composed, or it's based on 5 pillars, all right? It's 5 pillars, and the pillars stand for question, understand, evaluate, synthesize, and teamwork. And I think teamwork is a tremendous thing in there because that's 21st century scale for sure.
So all, of course, higher level thinking questions as well. Mr. S, tell me first, the course is open to whom? Freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, who?
The course is open actually to freshmen and sophomores predominantly. The course is composed of 2 actual separate courses. First one is AP Capstone or seminar. In the seminar, it's an intro where students actually evaluate the issue on hand, and then they create or propose the research and do their literature search. And this follows by a 2-year course, which is research course. And in that those 2 years, they actually do go through with their research, with their analytical research. They draw the data, form conclusions, and then they have to present those conclusions in a paper and also oral presentation as well.
So 3 more questions. First question, I'm currently a freshman. I want to take AP Capstone. I know I want to get involved in this program. I'm sitting down with my school counselor the 28th of February and March 1st. What do I say to my school counselor? I want to be enrolled in what courses?
You want to be enrolled in the research, in the independent research.
Okay.
And if you choose to also go a little bit further and receive college credit for it, you want to be enrolled in an AP seminar. That's your first course to be enrolled into.
The second question, students who are going to take this class, what is their career path look like? I know that I want to get involved in journalism, say, if I think that I want to be a journalist. Mm-hmm. This is good preparation for what sort of career paths down the road?
Well, it depends. A lot of students, they think about and they say, well, I want to be a scientist, or I want to be a doctor, I want to make a difference in those fields, in science field. But so that course will prep them. That will show them whether or not they really want to do it. That's another essential goal of this course. I've had students in the past that they took the course and they said, I love it, I want to be a scientist, I love research, and I love going a little bit further. Some students said, you know, it's not for me, which is okay.
Invaluable.
Yeah. Absolutely. At this level, it's great to see if you love it or you don't.
And then final question, one more question. Sell this course to me. Why should I take your elective next year?
All right, you're a student, right? And you're a student that does not always like to just follow the classroom, that doesn't always like to follow just the textbook, the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 5, and on and on. You want to write your own book, right? Mm-hmm. You want to be in control and in driver's seat. So if you're one of those people, this is great. You propose the research topic that you would like to investigate. That's first of all. Second thing is, you are responsible of your own budget and also of your own schedule, with some minor, obviously, differences where I put up some deadlines, but you are in the driver's seat. So you propose the topic, you run your course, you are basically the lead person in the course itself.
Cool. All right, Mr. S, thank you very much. We appreciate your time today. Coming to a course guide near you, AP Capstone, look out for it. Mr. S, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Thanks. All right, Lakeland, here I am with one of my 2 favorite consumer art teachers, Miss Donna Joseph. Miss Joseph, how are you today?
Good morning, good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Thanks for coming on. Well, the whole purpose of you being here, of course, is to talk about your new elective that is coming in next year, and your new elective is called?
Advanced Cooking and Baking.
Tell me a little bit about it. First of all, who is it open to? What grades?
It's open to students who have passed their world cuisine classes, the courses. So you've had to have the sanitation procedures down. You're already particularly familiar with all the rules and procedures of sanitations and the whereabouts of the classroom, and having the foundation of culinary, of foods, period.
So is there a prerequisite for the course? Do you have to take Foods 1?
Foods 1 as well as world cuisine, correct.
Okay, so in order to get into this class, your two prerequisites would be Foods 1, World Cuisine, and then this class would be open to you.
Correct.
So,
it's an accelerated class from those two classes, absolutely.
So primarily it's open to juniors and seniors.
Correct.
Cool. Tell me about some of the things you're going to be doing in the class. Some of the skills that you're going to have.
Okay. One of the things I'm excited about this class is basically they're going to be introduced to the mother sauces. They're going to know how to, meaning the bechamel sauce, or the velouté sauce, any of the cooking sauces that we use in the culinary world, and they're going to be applying it to making a complete dish out of it. So they're just not going to be being introduced to the sauces. They'll also, in addition to the new sauces, they'll be utilizing it or applying it to a particular dish.
Okay.
What else? They are going to be doing, that's in the culinary world, in the foods aspect of things, they're going to be doing anything that's accelerated with advanced baking, my favorite part of it. Advanced baking primarily, we want to do some commercial quality desserts, such as, oh my gosh, what's my favorite? Well,
what is your favorite dessert? Let's make it as informal as possible.
I know something's funny. I don't like eating desserts. But if I do have to have,
but you're an accomplished baker, though.
Yeah, but I do, and I do enjoy eating, a good old apple pie a la mode.
Okay.
I love apple pie.
Yeah.
I love anything pies.
Okay.
All right, so I can do that. That's fine. But I want them to be able to do like accelerated versions of pies and things of that nature. Take it up a couple of notches. How to do better doughs. Just getting them prepared mostly. Should they decide they want to do they want to become a food blogger, they want to do culinary arts, be in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
This is a good foundation for them to have a decision on if they'd like to do that. So should they decide to go to Passaic County University or whatever, community college, they can take a culinary course coming in with that knowledge of sauces, of the different types of breads, the different types of cakes, the procedures to make these items, and to have some fun with it primarily while they're here, so they can be introduced that.
It's a practical course for those students who might want to get into culinary arts somewhere down the road.
It is.
Or anything involved in the food industry.
Absolutely.
Or if you like to eat. I mean, that's something that
that's good too. Why not? Who doesn't like to eat?
We know it's a second year that we're going to have our seniors staying 5 blocks.
Yeah.
So if you've taken the courses already, why not just continue on with the track?
That's my thing. And not only that, too, it gives them something to look forward to, learning in a different direction or a different way of applying their skills and knowledge. Yeah. Because we have math, we have food science, believe it or not. We can bring all that in. That's bumped up a couple of notches in this advanced classes. So this is what I'm looking forward to.
Listen, you've sold me on the course. I'm sure that you've sold a lot of the students. We're in that camera now.
Oh, no.
You sold me on the course. You sold a lot of the students on the course too. So I got to tell you, thank you very much for coming on today. You've been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to hearing from the course next year too.
And smelling the foods.
And smelling the food too.
Okay.
She's a natural. She was nervous. She's a natural.
I am not. I'm pretty nervous.
No, you're a natural. Thank you, Ms. Joseph.
But
we
thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Lakeland, here I am with two of my favorite business teachers, Miss Incordona to my left and Miss Ozdemir to my right. Ladies, first of all, I guess we'll start with Miss Incordona. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Miss Ozdemir?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. I'm not used to the dual side, so I'm going to start with Miss Incordona. First of all, what is the name of your course that you're introducing next year?
So the name of our course is Yearbook.
Okay.
We're really excited to finally offer Yearbook as a class. The yearbooks that we create every year, it's a piece of history that you will have and cherish forever. And actually, Ms. Ozdemir and I brought our own yearbook from when we graduated. So here we are.
We're not going to say what years, but for this one I was 3, and for this one I was 6.
So yes, Mr. Novak is really young. So this is a piece of history that right now I know some of you might not be able to appreciate. But I can tell you that 20, 30, or even 40 years from now, you will definitely refer to it. So when you think of your yearbook, think of all the wonderful things that are happening here at Lakeland, and that's what we want to capture. We want to capture all the wonderful things that are happening here, and we would love for you to be part of our class. And just so you know, Miss Osmir was over my house over the summer, and we were talking about
A mutual friend.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it was a mutual friend.
Yes, and I said to Miss Osmir, I went to Waldwick High School, and she said, I think one of my friends graduated from Waldwick High School, and I said, wait, let me take out my yearbook, and I did, and we actually found Miss Osmir's friend. She graduated a year after I did, and coincidentally, when I started Lakeland, there were a few students whose last names I recognized from Waldwick, and I took out my handy-dandy yearbook, and I graduated with their parents. So it's very exciting. So we hope that you can be part of this class.
Peeling back some of the layers, Ms. Osmer, first and foremost, I'm going to just start with a basic question. Who is the course open to? Freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, everybody?
Everybody. The course is open to everybody.
So no prerequisites whatsoever then?
No prereqs.
Okay.
It is a business elective, and it's the kind of class that really everybody should take. If you want to, participate in sports and clubs and all those kinds of things after school, we don't often have time to join another club, which I know a lot of the students have a problem with time-wise these days. So this will be amazing when it becomes an actual class, and those who want to get involved but also are involved in sports and clubs and things after school like jobs and family obligations can actually make their mark, be a part of it, and join along and just have fun with the course and make something that they will go back and look at. Next year is my 20-year reunion.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, my 30-year reunion. Holy cow, it's
say
my 30-year reunion. Oh my goodness. But I just went back and I was looking, and it was amazing to see who you still talk to and what did we look like back then. I found a picture of myself and I went, oh my God, do I really look like this?
So, do we have
So
some,
should we show them our senior
I
photo?
don't know if
Sure.
we want to.
Mine is right
Gosh.
here.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. That's not you. Oh, that's
me
you.
right there.
That is Tammy Conklin, maiden name Tammy Conklin.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
I don't know if you can see that. If not, we'll get it in post. It's fine. And then Ornella Perrone.
That was my maiden name, yeah.
That is a maiden name as well. My maiden name was Novak. One final question before we move on. We are desperately out of time here. In addition to simply working on the yearbook, there are other skills, obviously, that students are going to get from this class. What are some of the other skills that students are going to pick up? I mean, obviously, the crux of this is going to be working on the yearbook and effectively putting together a product that's going to be part of history. What are some of the things that kids are going to take away from this class?
In terms of skills, I think a little bit more on the Photoshop aspect. Do I need to know Photoshop coming into it? Absolutely not, although it is an extremely good tool to have.
Sure.
Some writing skills, captioning skills, definitely some grammar, to get to know more of your school and your class, and just a better overall picture of what actually happens at the school. Because if you think about it, there are so many things that each of us is involved in, but we don't know what else is going on. And I think this is a great way to say, oh wow, look what else is going on, and to be able to bring that all together.
Ms. Ozdemir, Ms. Incordona, we are desperately out of time. Thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank
we
you
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, so that's our pitch for the yearbook course coming in next year. You've convinced me to take it. Consider taking it yourselves.
Okay.
All right, camera one, how are you? My name is Mr. Novak. We're back here with Miss Murphy. I can say unequivocally one of my favorite math teachers, Miss Murphy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the morning show today. We're happy to have you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
So
I'm
you-
here.
All right, talk over me. That's fine. So, Miss Murphy, we're here to talk about your new elective that's coming in for next year, which is called.
Programming in Scratch.
Okay, can you explain a little bit what programming in Scratch actually is?
Okay, so Scratch is a programming language, and it's very user-friendly. It's for somebody that's maybe never programmed before, so it's a great beginner course if you want to look into computer science type courses.
Speaking of beginner courses, talk about some of the prerequisites. I believe it's open to everybody. Is that correct?
They need to have successfully completed Algebra 1.
Okay.
So
So it could be open to certain freshmen, but then other than that, as long as you've completed that course and passed it, it's open for everybody.
So sophomores, juniors, and seniors, as long as they pass
Absolutely.
Algebra 1, they're 100% in.
Absolutely.
Talk about the type of kids who you would encourage to take this class. Anybody who's interested in what kind of content area?
If you wanted to do something with programming, we're going to look into different aspects of it. We're going to try to create like small little games. So maybe if you're interested in possibly doing video gaming later on in life.
Cool.
But yeah, it's very visual, very hands-on, so it's going to be good.
All right, Ms. Murphy, final sales pitch because we are desperately out of time. Talk to me about selling your elective.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, if you're interested in programming, just in computers in general, video gaming, things like that. And I just, there's going to be a lot of projects, whether it's individual or with, groups. So it's going to be a lot of hands-on, not a ton of written or homework that maybe not everyone wants to do.
Listen, if that's the case, you 100% sold me. Ms. Murphy, again, thank you very much for coming on our desperately warm Lakeland studios. We are live, recorded, but we're live. Thank you for retweeting all of Lakeland's stuff, by the way. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I want to say that publicly. Look for it, Scratch Programming, coming to a curriculum guide near you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Lakeland, we're back here with one of my favorite math teachers, Mr. Dan Thomas. Mr. Thomas, thank you for coming on the morning show, man.
Thank you for inviting me to be on it.
So Mr. Thomas is here to talk about going to that camera now. Mr. Thomas is here to talk about his new elective for next year. Mr. Thomas, what is your elective? What's it all about?
The new elective is called Applications of Mathematics, where we're going to look to find applications of mathematics in various fields and apply them to real-life settings.
Talk about some of the prerequisites that are, you can just talk right to me. Talk about some of the prerequisites that are going to be required for the course.
The prerequisite for the course is successful completion of Algebra 2 with a C or better. Mainly juniors and seniors will be able to take the course.
What are some of the things that you're going to be doing in class? Individual learning, project-based learning, use of technology in the class?
All of the above, really, because this course is going to be a project-based course where we're going to kind of do labs and different activities to find applications of mathematics, whether it's in business, engineering, science, technology, and find constructive ways to use math where students are going to be able to use it outside the classroom, whether it's in a business-related field, whether it's their career, college, all these different kind of things that they're able to do in a more practical setting.
Sure. It got kind of the applications of math in real life.
Absolutely.
Those sorts of things. All right. Well, Mr. Thomas, we're desperately out of time right now. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you for talking about your class, which is called
Applications of Mathematics.
Look for it in a curriculum guide near you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dan Thomas. All right, Lakeland, here we are. We're back with Mr. James Fleming, who's one of my favorite tech ed teachers. Mr. Fleming, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Happy to be here.
All right, Mr. Fleming's obviously here to talk about his new elective that's coming in. Mr. Fleming, talk about your new elective. What's it called?
It's called Electronics 2.
Electronics 2. So that kind of leads me naturally to my next question. Prerequisites for the course.
Yeah, so students who are going to take Electronics 2 would have taken Electronics 1 already.
Okay. So we're going to say that course is open to sophomores, juniors, and seniors?
Correct.
Okay. Talk about some of the things that you're going to be doing in the class.
Okay, so we focus a little more in Electronics 1 on items that would be where students are directed what to do, kind of specifically in steps. In the sequel course, what we'll do is we'll focus more on letting them design stuff. We'll give them some parameters and let them kind of do things that they use their knowledge that they already had and do something that'll be more design.
So very in vogue right now in regards to education, project-based learning, synthesis-based learning, those sorts of things you're going to be doing in class. Talk about some of the people who might want to take this course, career fields possibly that they might want to get into down
good
the
question.
road.
Students that are interested in engineering or even electronics or want to become electronic technicians might want to take this class because there's going to be a lot of things we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of hands-on work. We're going to use the computer to do some circuit simulation. And I think it's a good course for those type of students.
Sounds like a very practical course. Final question, really more of a statement. Sell me on your course for next year.
Okay, I know a lot of students were asking me about if we were going to have a sequel course because they enjoyed Electronics 1. It's going to be a good way to expand that knowledge base that students have and get some more experience and knowledge and design.
You heard it here first. Look for a curriculum guide or in a curriculum guide near you for Electronics 2 for next year. Mr. Fleming, thanks. All right, Lakeland. So here we are with, I can say this unequivocally, my favorite Latin teacher, Miss Charlena. Miss Ott, thanks for coming on the morning show. We appreciate it.
You are very welcome.
All right, so Miss Ott is here to talk about her new elective that is going into effect, that camera, for next year. Miss Ott, tell me about your class. What's it called?
It's called Introduction to the Humanities.
And who is it open to?
It is open to everyone in school, any grade. If you're interested in getting into it, we welcome you. We want you to join our happy little Latin classics family.
Our humanities family, too.
And our humanities family. Correct.
What are some of the things you're going to be doing in class?
Okay, one thing we will not be doing, I really have to mention, it is not a history class. You are not going to have to memorize a whole bunch of dates and things like that. It touches across the spectrum, probably things you didn't have that much time to discuss when you were doing history. We will be learning how to weave. We will be playing various musical instruments from various periods of our history. We will be studying the origins of the major religions in the world. We will look at the 5 Romance languages. No, you don't have to learn grammar, don't worry. The 5 Romance languages, how did they evolve from Latin? What's their influence now? In other words, all the things that make us human, which is what humanities is.
And it's interesting to kind of study the Western world and see how society has progressed over the years. In order, especially within this time, how everything is so volatile in the Western world, including our political spectrum, it's really interesting to kind of learn about what our roots are within the Western world. It's a fascinating curriculum that you put together.
Yeah, especially as I tell my Latin students, most people say, well, who cares what dead dudes did, 2,000 years ago. A very good example is when the Romans destroyed the temple in Israel. And now, of course, you don't have the temple, you have the Dome of the Rock. But the tension that you have there, the political tension, goes way back, even far back from the Romans. And we may not be able to do anything about it, but it is interesting to be able to understand it and to see these patterns that repeat themselves. And when you study culture of the ancient Greeks and the Romans, yes, they're dead, but in a way you can understand them because they were a lot like us, and that's really what we emphasize. We're not really all that separate, and just learn a lot of things. I know there are some of you out there that are very intellectually curious, so hopefully we'll be able to satisfy that with you and learn new things.
Ms. Ott, as a former history teacher, obviously I'm going to be a little bit biased, of course, but you sold me on the course. Ms. Ott, thank you very much for coming on the morning show. We appreciate it to talk about Intro to Humanities, coming to a curriculum guide near you, open to freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, no prerequisite. Ms. Ott, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Novak.
Thank you. All right, Lakeland, we have one more course to talk about. It's going to be a little bit unconventional since Mrs. Cawley is currently out of maternity leave, and this is her course that's going to be coming in for next year. It's called Graphic Novels. Anybody who has an interest in graphic novels, comic books, graphic design, we know we have a very robust graphic design program. This can be in addition to that as well. Mrs. Cawley has proposed this course for next year. It's been approved by our Board of Education, so graphic novels will be an option for our freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors to take next year with Mrs. Cawley. Some of her notes, I apologize, I have my cell phone in front of me right now. All students with an interest in reading, art, and graphic novels specifically are going to benefit from this program. Additionally, students are going to be given multiple opportunities to work collaboratively and with technology to support their creative endeavors. So another class that we have for you guys coming in next year, a graphic novels English elective. So look out for that in your curriculum guide as well. All right, Lakeland, well, there you have it, live or recorded from the illustrious Lakeland studios here at the Lakeland Regional High School. Our new course offerings for 2018-2019, just some logistical information before we wrap it up. Juniors, you will be meeting with your school counselors on February 22nd and 23rd. Sophomores, you'll be meeting with your school counselors on February 26th and 27th. And freshmen, you will be meeting with your school counselors on February 28th and March 1st. So we thank all the teachers who worked very hard to put all this new curriculum together, and thank them for coming on our morning show today to discuss their new programs. They're passionate. We're passionate about your education. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next year.